facilitate import of capital goods for producing quality goods and service and enhance India's manufacturing competitiveness. You see, the main goal is export again. That export should rise so that we earn more. That is the favorable thing. Any country whose export is more than the import, that country is gonna be a developed country after some time. That's a simple rule, that we earn more and we spend less. So if we are going to boost the export, then we need to raise our manufacturing and our production. But how do we do that? We need machines, we need capital goods for this production and this manufacturing. So if for these capital items we need to import, then that should also be boosted. If we want to boost our export, then we need to boost the import of capital goods. That's the important thing. And you see, this export promotion capital goods scheme is especially for that purpose. Okay, and some important schemes like MEIS and SEIS, they were launched in 2015 under India's foreign trade policy that was announced in 2015. That was one of the most important scheme in the recent times. So merchandise export and service export from India scheme. Next, trade between India and China. You see, they are showing some data regarding the last 3 years, and the trade deficit is certainly there because from China we import more and export less. So this trade deficit is rising. But you see, what do we need now? We need more exports. So for this raising export, some items are identified like tobacco, fish oil, fish meal, and rapeseed meal and rice. These are main exporting items from India towards China. So that's how, if this export is rising, then certainly the trade deficit would come down between India and China. So very important session, 11th session of this joint economic group relation that held in New Delhi in March 18. So that was the most important one, where it was decided that exports from India would be boosted. Okay, so that was the important goal, and this protocol has been signed to raise export from India to China. Next, textile exports, the same ministry's data. You see, least developed countries, they are supported by WTO because these are the least developed countries. So they come under this generalized system of preference, where they impose some duties on the exporting nations' items. So maybe India, if India is exporting some items to the least developed countries, then they may impose some duties to save their own market. Okay, so as we imposed anti-dumping duty on China, but that was a different thing. But you see, these least developed countries, they are given some relaxation by WTO, but that relaxation is actually devastating for a country like India, which is trying to raise its export and which it is trying to earn more. But here these trade norms for trade relaxations for these least developed countries, they are actually harming India's export. So that's the trouble. So already the textile industry is under immense pressure because the demand in the international sector is declined significantly between 14 to 17 year, and now some steps are taken to increase the exports. You see, rebate of state levies, labor reforms, and incentive under the ATUFs. This ATUFs scheme was in news 2 years back. It is regarding amended technology upgradation fund scheme, ATUFs. So it is regarding the technological upgradation, which is actually boosting the export. It is actually supportive of India's production. It raises the production because it is technology based. Okay, so this ATUFs scheme is very important. Now the SITP, this is a different scheme for integrated textile parks. Okay, so through all these, the main aim is these should market supported more so that the farmers' income is raised anyhow. And you see, under the chairmanship of Ministry of Commerce and Industry, they actually organized a national level meeting, okay, on 8 January 2019, and there it was decided that at the state level and cluster level, the agriculture should be boosted. Because this policy of agriculture level, only on the national level it is discussed. So that's why it is very, very important to bring it to the state level and the cluster level, so that exports are rising on this level. And as I told you, APDA is working for that. Other one is MPEDA, where Marine Products Export Development Agency is working for that. Authority is working for marine products actually, and this AP is for agriculture products. Apart from that, tobacco board, tea board, coffee board, rubber board, and spices board, these all are working for that. And some schemes like TIS, Trade Infrastructure for Export Scheme, Market Access Initiative Scheme, and MEIS, these all are working to boost the agricultural exports. Okay, so these are very important points for the prelims and mains both. Okay, agricultural export policy, remember this. Our target is by 2022 we take these agricultural exports till $60 billion, so that is our aim here. Next data is regarding the WTO issues and challenges that I discussed in the issue of India and USA at WTO. This is also discussed already, because the B2B model, where Flipkart and Amazon like websites, okay, these are providing a market platform. They are actually connecting buyers with sellers, so they are only allowed to sell some other company's product on their website model. Okay, the FDI is not Flipkart wants to, okay, is benefit for e-commerce from platform, totally digitization based platform.